If you're feeling unfulfilled in your life, there's a good chance that you're far too focused on acquiring and on enjoying instead of focusing on becoming. Most people are born into this world in a circumstance where their whole life will be spent just trying to survive. And there'll be a small subset that will get beyond survival, and they'll spend the rest of their lives just trying to maintain the status quo, trying to keep the level of survival or the level of comfort that they've acquired and just not go backwards. The problem with this is that as human beings, we were built with a purpose. We were not built just to enjoy life. We weren't built to acquire or to attain things in this life. That's not what we were built for. Every human being that God created has one purpose, one reason for existing: to become children of God. That's it. That's why you exist. Your existence is for the purpose of becoming a child of God. Of all the things that Jesus' death on the cross accomplished, the most important one was his death provided you with the ability to become a child of God. Now you might be asking, well, how do I do that? How do I become a child of God? Jesus tells us. He says, love those who hate you so that you may become children of my Father. Now that's a pretty tall order, because to genuinely love a person who hates you and who persecutes you is against everything that is in our nature. Our base human nature. There is nothing in us that has the capacity to love like that. Nothing. And that's why you have to become a child of God. So how do we do that? How do we get that love inside of us? A love that is so foreign to what we are. And Jesus tells us, he says, the answer is to take up your cross and follow me. We have to die. We have to die to every part of this nature, every part of what is naturally in us. We have to die to that and allow him to replace those dead things with living things, things that are not born of flesh, but that are born of spirit, things that have the capacity to carry the love of the Father in a way that our natural condition is not capable of carrying. Now you might be thinking, that doesn't sound very enjoyable. And you're right, it's not. Death is definitely not an enjoyable experience. But what I'll tell you is that it is very similar to working out. Working out is not an enjoyable experience, but the results of working out are far better than the results of not working out and sitting on your couch eating Oreos. That's a crude example for something as powerful as immortality and the love of God, but bringing it just into the simplistic nature of what it feels like in life. Self-discipline is not an enjoyable experience, but the fruit that it produces is powerful and useful to your life. So many of us are caught up on just these temporal things. We are so focused on the shadows of things that are to come. Like, do y'all realize that everything in this world is a shadow of a far greater world? Everything in this world is a shadow. All the good in this world is a type and shadow for the greatness, the magnitude from which it came. We got too many people here that are so in love with the shadow that they can't even let it go to take possession of the real thing. This is why we have to become. We have to become something different. We have got to get to the place where we start focusing our lives on becoming something instead of focusing it on just trying to enjoy and survive. If you survive your whole life and never manage to become what God intended you to be, what was the point? No matter how enjoyable your life is, every life that exists on this planet will be attended by some form of suffering, some layer of suffering. Whether it's in the early day, the midday, or the latter day, every single person who lives on this planet will encounter some form of suffering. And even the most wealthy, the most powerful, the reality of life is for even those people that probably 50% of their life is attended to by some form of suffering, whether it be physical, emotional, mental, relational. Suffering attends life on this planet because this is a fallen world, and no matter matter how rich you are, no matter how powerful you are, no matter how high up the ladder you get, there is going to be some degree of suffering that attends this life. And if you survive this entire life of suffering just to get to the end, to fail to become the very thing that you were intended to become, what was the point? I'm telling you, there's a bunch of you on here that are watching this video right now that are going to spend your whole life trying to survive just to die when you get to the end. It's going to be like one of those bad horror movies where the main character manages to survive every possible thing that they could encounter only to end up getting taken out at the end of the movie. This is the fate that we're all facing. But if we can realize what the purpose of this life is, what we are intended to do here, if we can take hold of that, then let me tell you, you can conquer in any situation. No matter how difficult the situation is, no matter how hard it is, in the most difficult moments, you are becoming like Christ. In fact, I would even go as far to say that the most difficult moments are the ones that are the most becoming. It's not the easy ones. Bruce Lee said, don't pray for an easy life. Pray for the strength to endure a difficult one. Because he understood that it is the difficulty in life that makes you into, that forges you into what it is that you were designed to be. There's a reason that anything in this world that has value was more than likely forged under extraordinary heat and pressure. Now, I'm not saying that if you're experiencing difficulty, if you're experiencing pain or loss or any of those things, that you should just be excited about it or happy about it, right? I actually think there's people out there that have a really unhealthy relationship with pain, okay? But what I am saying is that what we understand the purpose of this life to be changes the context of the things that we go through. There is a time to enjoy the good, because the good is our opportunity to understand how good God is. Like, if the maximum good that we can experience in this life is but a fraction of the good that God is, the good that he is capable of providing, then imagine what it will be like when we are able to be present with him in the full magnificence of his power and his glory. So we need to experience the good. It's important to experience the good because it gives us a taste of what heaven will be like. It gives us a taste of what his kingdom, when it is fully manifested on this earth, will be like. So we need the good, don't get me wrong. But how we understand the difficult, the dark, and the bad is so unbelievably important, because if we don't understand its purpose, we will run from it. We will do everything in our life humanly possible to avoid it. We will fight to survive. We will exit God's process over and over and over again, and we will fail to materialize, to become the very thing that we were intended to become in this life. Don't make the mistake of falling in love with the shadow. Fall in love with the thing that's casting it.